Hi. You might notice right now I'm wearing a sport coat, which is unusual for me on a weekday, especially on one of the coldest day of the year when everything is shut down and we're not having any Bible studies or choir or anything today at the church. But nevertheless, I'm wearing a sport coat because I'm going to be going to a meeting this afternoon with several of the American Baptist pastors, a region executive, and we'll be meeting with Senator Pete Ricketts at his office, and it's regarding the diaspora of the Burmese tribal people. We have several that are in our state, several tribal groups. The Karen that we are most familiar with, who meet down at First Baptist Church. There's the Kachin. There's a church, First Kachin Baptist Church in the United States is located in Omaha. And then the third one is the Chin. And those are the three primary tribal groups. And since about 1949, and even before that, but primarily since about 1949, there has been a war against these tribal groups by the Burmese national government. They have been bombing them. They've been burning their churches. They've been killing the people. And there's a resistance by the Karen people back against the government churches. But most of the civilian population has been driven into refugee camps along the Thailand border. There's a lot I don't know about the situation. I am not an expert on this by any means. But just from my understanding and my reading and my conversing with some of the Karen people who I'm most familiar with, this is a very dire situation. There is a national group that is trying to work with the United States government in promoting peace in the region, promoting the care of the people who are in the refugee camps. There's several medical facilities that are reaching out to the people there, providing medical care for these groups of people who are literally running for their lives or trying to survive. Part of the recent cuts in the government, we've heard a lot in the news about the USAID. The USAID has been accused, of course, of wasting a lot of money, a lot of fraudulent claims, and so on. I'm not going to get into that at all. That's not for me to determine. But one thing I do know is that about 20% of the medical aid that is received by some of these groups along the border with Thailand, between Burma and Thailand, who are caring for these people, about 20% of the medical aid comes from that particular fund. And that has been put on pause for about 90 days. Now, that's one of the issues. The other issue, of course, is that there are people, these tribal Burmese groups, the Karen, the Chin, and the Kachin, who have been waiting for a long time in refugee camps, waiting to come to the United States and become eventually become citizens of the United States. About, I guess, maybe close to 10% of our churches in the Nebraska region are ethnic groups, most of them being from these three tribal groups. Some of those churches are located in other states like Tennessee and Texas and Florida and places like that. They're part of the Nebraska region, but they're located elsewhere. And they've chosen to become part of the Nebraska region because of the kinship they have with these other existing churches who are part of our region. Now, I'm telling you all this because I'm simply asking you to be in prayer. To be in prayer for us today as we go and meet with them, a prayer for our president, prayer for our senators, prayer for those who are making the decision concerning what aid to give to other nations, especially as it relates to these tribal groups in Burma. I covet your prayers. I ask that you will be in prayer, that justice will be done, that compassion will take place, and that we will be the kind of people God would want us to be in these situations. We would actually be saving the lives of people if our government could intervene. Because one of the other aspects is that our United States government, can also intervene in introducing sanctions, which would force or put pressure on the Burmese government to stop bombing and destroying and killing the people in these tribal groups. So I do ask for your prayer. If you want more information on that, I would encourage you to Google it. There's numerous sites. There's a lot of videos on YouTube of what's happening in this war between the tribal groups and the Burmese government. Thank you for listening to me today. This is a little bit different than my normal videos that I would do on a Wednesday, but I'm simply asking you to be in prayer today for what I've described. Thank you very much. Amen.